So let's talk about the different ways women abuse men. I find that almost all relationships between men and women involve emotional abuse, if not manipulation. The main way that the weak in society influence others and allow them to get their way is mainly through blackmail and emotional manipulation. Demographic: these types are usually subservient to women and always try to appease them. Strong, independent, and confident men don't interact in this way with other equally strong, independent, and confident men. Please don't take offense in the comments. It takes a long time for a person to grow into a strong, independent, confident individual. From youth to early adulthood, the chances of him developing this way are slim. He wasn't born that way either, but some people are. Because of the way our society and culture is organized, it's easy to get caught up in it. Their place in life is largely determined by their place in the group. This explains why people stick to their point of view so much. This is critical to understanding when a person's health, well-being and strength is involved, and even one element not in the correct position can cause the entire system to malfunction. Thus, a person may be paying attention to his diet, exercise, routine, financial future habits, and social life, among other important aspects of his life, and still have major problems in one area. This could be a relationship with a woman, an ex-wife, an abusive coworker, or an abusive friend. When they feel they have to deal with it or are unable to change it, many men find it difficult to focus on that problem and prevent it from affecting larger areas. In fact, I think it's very similar to a giant electrical system. You observe every movement. It gives you the idea that even a slight short anywhere on the wire will shut down the system that powers the city. Short or fuse or malfunction and you're done. That's why I'm here to tell you that men don't deal with the world or other men the way women or feminine men do. Instead, men interact with the world and other men differently. They do not engage in emotional manipulation, play the victim card for sympathy, or deceive others. Her approach is more direct and to the point. I will not do business with you if you do not treat me in a transparent, fair and honest manner. I can't make anyone do anything right, but I can promise I won't do that to you in my dealings with you. A trustworthy parent does not cheat on their children. So when a nice guy socializes with another decent guy, he starts by acknowledging that the other person has expectations and limitations about how you should treat him. He just won't do that. If you don't comply, he won't interact with you and can't stop you from doing so. However, he can choose to avoid you entirely. This is called the way of good people. They will only cooperate when there is a real exchange of value. You can only exchange value, like you have pens or pencils and I have dollars. If the parties decide to engage in a commercial interaction, you want the dollar and I want the pencil or pen. So we agree to a deal. You can see it's good for both because one has a lot of pins and the other needs one but for some extra money. That's how free people connect. The reason free people use this form of communication is that even a small short circuit anywhere along the line can bring down the entire system, no matter how big, powerful or capable it is. I've seen people try to improve their lives in various ways, but I mostly talk about their weight and physical health because I see people doing everything right and yet not seeing results. I have experienced this firsthand. So how is it possible for a person not to overeat, exercise, manage stress and still not get in shape or lose weight? So you share a home with people who interact with the world by abusing and manipulating other people's emotions. Although they eat healthy, exercise, and manage their stress effectively, they end up blue and sick because they respect honesty and integrity, and get along with others in the free market and free trade. They will find it challenging to focus on just one uncomfortable aspect of their life and improve in all others, especially if they are young or still learning and developing. Everything has to be in place for them to move on and stay positive. Fathers or male role models are crucial by teaching you to deal with the world differently than through emotional abuse. When you're dealing with snowflakes, the far left, socialists or social justice activists, you could say it's an emotional appeal because they're not getting what they want. In other words, because of their training, they don't realize that their actions are wrong and counterproductive. Even when they cry to heaven, their votes stay the same because they have nothing to contribute and nothing to trade. In free and open markets, manipulators resort to abuse and manipulation. You can learn how vulnerable and dependent people use these techniques. The current situation is that you have a young, healthy person who wants to participate in the free market and treat others with respect and decency. What an enviable sight and source of envy for those who lack these skills or are unwilling to make the sacrifices necessary to rise to this level. Or maybe they're just physically unable to reach that level. I mean, they might just be weaker. They just can't be that fast. They just can't be that logical. Several of these key characteristics may vary significantly. They may have a natural tendency to behave in very different ways than strong and healthy people. Or it could be a man who was raised by a single mother who was helpless, angry, and unable to make the most of her situation. She was forced to use the tactics I refer to, so when she raises her children, she instills those same traits and attributes in them. What the child learns is how to interact with or think about the world. Manipulation is the most important tool modern women have in use against men. They've been used to it since their teens and will continue to use it to their last breath. They will try to use their emotions against you to satisfy their own desires. They will try to manipulate you into buying them gifts, being willing to meet other people, being near where they work, and believing what they want you to believe. It never ends, and it tends to succeed on the weak. They go after one thing first, and they get abused for that one thing we all know. So, knowingly or not, they fall into the manipulative tactics of women. Therefore, it is best for men to distance themselves from women who you know will take advantage of and manipulate you. Honestly, dating the modern woman is not a gimmick if you know what she wants and keep your cool. Even when a woman tries to seduce you by making your wildest wishes come true, there is more resilience. You have to stay calm and stand up for yourself. A man who thinks he is a good man is simply a man who cannot stand up for himself. They never really use their brains, just want one thing, but dare not express their desire. Today, they behave very sensitively, but they are the most vulnerable to female exploitation. This is why men need to conquer their emotions instead of putting women on a pedestal and calling them the BS they seem to have been ignoring. So my modern wife tends to exploit men, causing more and more men to leave. Noble men's, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel.